Welcome to the Glow Through It podcast. I'm Adriana, the CEO and founder of Little Words Project.
And I'm Mariah, Little Words Project's first employee turned director of VIP relations and Adriana's real-life hype woman and BFF.
We created Glow Through It to bring you inspiration from our everyday lives. Whether you're building your own businesses, families, or love stories, we're here to remind you that you can glow through anything.
Catch us every Thursday for new episodes. Watch us on Spotify or YouTube, or catch the audio on Apple Podcasts.
All right, let's glow through it. Hello, everybody.
Hey!
We are very excited to be back here filming on the couch in the same outfit somehow. Mariah dresses like me, not this.
Your nails are absolutely fucking stunning.
Wow. Thank you so much.
I'm so tired of having... I'm going to show you a finger that you are going to hate.
Okay.
It broke. It broke the other day.
Mariah, then file it.
No, I did. You can't. There's no nail left. It's just skin. It's raw. This is down to the root.
The nub?
This is at the root. My nails are awful. Everybody wants to get my nails done. Oh, go get your nails done. Get your nails done. Okay. The first 2 months of
I don't want you to get your nails
my
done.
current
In
boyfriend,
fact, I want you to put your hands away.
I went and got my nails done. You want to know what happened? They're now soft again. The nails, the nail beds. Everything's soft. Everything breaks. All my nails break. I don't know how you guys just keep getting your nails done. I did mine for 2 months. I had gel manicured. They were beautiful.
Yeah, these are
Three separate coats. Now, my nails are as soft as paper. I'm like, I can't get them done again.
You took a nail clipper to these. I see the nail clipper that you took to them, and you left the straight line of the nail clip.
Let me see.
Across the top of your fingertip. That's what you did.
Yeah. So
that's not...
What do you think about all the dirt?
I think what you need...
No, I know that the nails are terrible.
Okay, so this week we are going to be talking about a couple of different things. First, we wanted to do a quick catch-up, and then we're going to dive into our latest collection, which it just so happens that all of these conversations are, like, happening around our collections, but it's only because it really helps guide the story, and our collections are really intentionally thought out. So this week, we're launching our Women's History Month collection, which I'm personally really excited about, really proud of. It's got a little bit of a hot button words in there that I'm excited to chat about, and it's just a little different for us. But before that... I want to hear about Vail.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So, yeah, I just went on a trip. It was my first couples trip I've ever been on.
Okay.
With a boyfriend and his friend and the friend's girlfriend.
And how'd it go?
It was so fun and beautiful and stunning. And I just had a great time. And Vail is really beautiful. However, I do love coming back to the city, though. And that's how I know I'm not meant to live amongst the trees.
Yeah, you're not an outdoorsy girl.
No, it's so beautiful. I was like, oh my God, look at this view. But then, like, I'm okay to come home. I every time I see a house on the mountain, I think, how do you get to TJ Maxx? How and when do you get to TJ Maxx?
Period.
I'm just very curious. And the answer is they don't.
Yeah.
They go once every 2-3 weeks. Mm-hmm. It takes them 45 minutes to get downtown. And downtown is like one Target,
but
one
isn't
Whole
that
Foods.
Kind of a nice existence too? Like not having to just like...
Overconsume.
No,
I don't
just
know.
Like be separated.
I'm sure it's nice for me.
I mean, Bill grew up in South Jersey and he was 30 minutes away from like a local Target.
That's insane to me.
Yeah. 30 minutes from like any sort of like legitimate shopping.
Civilization. That is insane.
But Christina grew up down there too.
Yeah. No,
it's
it's
girls
crazy.
on our team.
It's crazy to me.
On these glasses.
I need to see life. I need to be able to walk places. Like we were in the downtown area of Vail, so it was like very walkable. Mm-hmm. So you could go to little shops and stuff. But that's like a vacation area.
Right.
Nobody lives there. Mm-mm. The actual town of Vail, like you're driving forever.
Something that nobody cares about is
true.
How you perceived the town of Vail.
True.
What we care about is the relationship.
Yeah.
So any goodness there, like
it was just we just have so much fun together. Oh, you know what I realized on this trip? And I'm trying to think of the word that it is because I was talking to the girls about it last night, and I can't think of what my problem is, but I am grumpy. I am a grumpy person, and I thought that I was a joyous person. I thought that I was happy.
You thought you were easygoing?
Easygoing and simple. I live a simple. I'm a simple girly. I thought I was fun. No. I thought I was free.
Oh, God, free?
Free flowing.
Never free.
You get around my boyfriend, That man is so free flowing and kind and
thank
happy
God.
and jittery and jumpy, like a little jumping bean. And I am this grump that just every second I'm so grumpy and quiet. And then I'm like, why am I being so
quiet?
weird? Yeah, like I get weird.
Yeah, you fucking do.
I get weird.
Yes.
I get weird.
Yes, if it's not like the perfect setup scenario,
Yeah,
if there's
yeah.
one little thing askew,
Yeah.
it's not
if it's
for
not
you.
on my exact time frame, if he's taking a little
Wow, this
too
is
long.
very self-aware of
yeah,
you.
if he's taking a little too long, I notice I'm very grumpy with him for 5 minutes, and he's just, and you know, he talks to everyone, every soul, and I thought I was overly chatty. No, he talks to everyone. He jokes with every waiter. He
That's
talks
so
to every sales
adorable.
associate in a store. We walk into a store, he's like, hello.
No.
I'm like, why are you saying hello like that? Like, he's so silly and adorable.
That is
and
so
I'm
cute.
quiet next to him. I'm like, you are the most like outgoing, funny.
But isn't that great?
Yes, it's so
Isn't it kind of
sweet.
nice to like not have to entertain the Uber driver?
Oh my God, he will. Hey, so tell me, sir, where are you from? You live in Vail? I'm like, oh my God. All right, we are going to talk to this Uber driver the entire time.
Okay,
like,
but you can't
he's
hate
just-
on that. You can't
No,
hate on
no,
that
no,
because
I don't
you're
hate on
you're,
it. I'm realizing that I am cold and evil.
No, you're not cold and evil. What I'll tell you is what you want to know what
like
you
it.
are? You always have to be on for your job. And so in moments where you can be reclusive and to yourself, you are.
I just was in this mountain like a quiet little snake
Yeah.
in the garden. Like,
Yeah. That's okay.
And he is just loud and silly goofy.
Okay, but what I will caution you.
I know. I'm probably pushing him away.
No, you're not pushing him away.
Oh, thank God.
Jeez.
You don't think so?
No, but
Okay.
but do better.
I know.
Try to like be when you recognize that you're doing it.
I know.
Give yourself something like remind yourself of like that's not how you want to be,
Yep.
especially with this relationship, and give him what he needs. And maybe have you guys had a conversation about like love languages?
Yes.
Okay, what's his
Recently.
love language?
His, unfortunately, is time spent with someone. So he's like, it doesn't have to be in person, but like FaceTimes
Why
too.
is that unfortunate? You
Because we're long distance,
yeah, but
so I
you,
worry about time.
but you live on the FaceTime.
Yeah, we FaceTime at night.
And so what is what's
And then also is like physical touch. And I'm like,
well, no, when you're together, you give him that, and you
Yeah.
guys give each other that.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then yours,
Mine is fully words of affirmation.
Words
We
of
could be long
affirmation.
distance for 10 years. I don't care.
yeah, just tell
Don't
me.
ever come here.
Tell me
I'll
that
never
you
go there.
love me.
Just say I'm cute every day.
Fair.
And nice and funny and smart, successful, and a winner.
So then be nice and funny.
I know. And not sad.
Yeah.
I'm so, he's so silly.
you know what
and
triggers
I'm just
it?
looking. No, I'm just grumpy sometimes. And it's like I just,
But you're entitled to be grumpy
I don't like
sometimes.
noise. I don't like when people are loud on the phone. I just realize like there's little things of having a
yes.
partner now where I'm like, I'm in the bathroom and he's on the phone and it's like really loud. Or he puts on the TV and it's at like 80 because he wants to hear the movie. And I'm like, why is this at 80? And I'm just like grumpy.
Well,
I'm like,
hopefully
why
you don't
did I just
deliver
yell-
it like that.
You know, sometimes I do, and then I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sorry, that was like really mean. And then he's like, it's okay, I'll put it down to 30. I'm like, yeah, why didn't I just say like, hey babe,
Yeah,
can
yeah.
you just turn this down? I'm like, why is it so loud?
Yeah, yeah.
Like I'm
Yeah.
just like this like demon.
Wait, I
hope he
love
doesn't
that
think
you're
I'm a demon.
so self-aware about this because it's definitely not something that but like you are someone like you can't have the wrong song on in the background.
Yeah,
if
I
the song
hate
is
the
on, it
wrong
has to be
song.
changed. Like you are very particular.
Yes.
And as long as you deliver your particularness
The right way.
the right way, it's fine.
Okay.
Just be a little nicer.
I have a lot to work on in this relationship. I think this last trip to Vail showed me that. And like, I just look forward to even just enhancing myself in a relationship. This is all new.
And you will.
All of it is new.
Right.
And I'm like excited to become the best version of a girlfriend that I can be. I've not been a girlfriend since I was like a child.
Yeah, fair.
I am an adult girlfriend and I need to like show up to that. And I'm learning every day. It's like
Yeah.
crazy.
It is crazy. Someone else who's an adult girlfriend is Kristen Cavallari, dating a 24-year-old cowboy.
Are you into this?
I mean, it's on my pop culture / catch-up list of things that we should be talking about from our producers,
Kristen
Kelly and Chelsea.
Cavallari.
I'm not that into it. I just love Kristen Cavallari, and she can't do any wrong in my opinion.
How old is she? Do you know?
I think she's like 38. Yeah, she's like
38
late 30s.
and the boyfriend is 24
yeah. And honestly,
and he's fresh out of
I ship it.
fresh out of college.
Let
I mean,
it-
my boyfriend is a little younger, but like 24 and 38, y'all
No,
are-
but who cares? Because she's not looking for the father of her children. She has her children.
Oh, how many children?
She's 3 with Jay Cutler. Cutler?
Wow.
Yeah.
So
I
is
think
her new
that's
boyfriend?
lovely.
Who's the guy?
I have no idea. I just know that he's a
Is it Harry
24-year-old
Jowsey?
Cowboy. No, he's not famous. I don't think he's famous. Is he famous?
Oh.
He's a TikToker.
TikToker. So is Harry
And
Jowsey.
she's hot as hell. So
Is
you know
she?
what?
Let me get your phone. Let me look at what she looks like.
Go ahead.
And them together as a unit.
You know my password?
If I look at your phone, I'll remember
Ford
it.
says-
223344.
Yep. Ford. Every time he does it. I don't know why, but he does it in Spanish. Dos, tes, cuatro.
No.
That's how he says my password.
How
and
does
he
he
puts it
know?
in. I don't know. You guys.
Is he a genius? Is he a
He's
child
He's
genius?
reading. He reads. He's
How?
2. He literally looks at, he's like, oh, that's my name. Ford. He sees it on the car. That's my name. I'm like, yeah, that is your name. And then he'll literally like, we'll
does
be
he
like, okay,
know?
it's CAT. I'm like, 40, what does that spell? CAT. CAT. And then we're like, what is that? Cat. Like he spells. I don't know, but he like
you
he
teaching him
loves
it
to
yet?
read. We have this like course that I bought. It's called Toddlers Can Read or something like that. It's not really a course, but it's a little like book series that Nicole has on her list of things to like implement. So we're gonna see about that. But I have to start thinking about like what we're gonna do with school for him. And I'm realizing I was driving here at 2:00 to record this, and it's like people are getting let out from school, and I see all these kids, and I'm like, wow, like school. That's an
Because homeschooling's on your mind, right?
Homeschooling's on my mind only because school is such an institution, and like you gotta be bought in on the institution of it all. And I'm really afraid of the whole institution. I'm afraid of, I don't think school is bad. And I know we have a lot of teacher listeners, and I think teachers are amazing, and I think public school is wonderful, and I think there's so many great aspects of it. But I'm realizing how traumatized I was by my experience with being bullied every year for my entire life, with like just I'm so much more sensitive to the bullying storylines that are happening right now. I'm so much more sensitive to this concept of like these kids are so connected and everything is just meaner, and it's such a social implication. And I'm just afraid of his light getting dimmed by this kid is so special, and like I see him interact with other little kids and my heart breaks if the kid doesn't like give him what he's looking for. You know what I mean? Like he'll be like, come on, you want to play? You want to do this? You want to do that? And the kid just like looks at him, and I'm like, oh my God. Like I feel it shatter. Like I can't explain it. I feel pain in my heart. And I can't imagine dropping him off and having him cry and not wanting me to go. I can't imagine it. And I cannot imagine leaving. I know. And that's less to do with him and more to do with me. And I recognize that like I have my own shit to work out there. And I know many people feel like it's a rite of passage. Like you have to go to school. Like you have to be socialized. Like, do you? Like genuinely. I don't know. Because there's also something to be said about like, you know, luckily we have built this foundation, this means to be able to pay for a homeschooling pod, or, you know, take him with us on a trip and travel and work in a new place and get him exposed to life that way. And
Don't you guys also kind of want to like maybe like move to like a very desolate woodland place at some point?
I mean, I wouldn't hate living among the trees, as you
Like
described,
live
being
among the
not
woods.
yours.
Bill's kind of pitching a fire.
Yeah.
You guys
There's
kind of
there's
make your own
wood being
food
chopped.
and like your own clothes.
Yeah,
Remember, it goes
yeah.
back to like you making the costumes.
Yeah, it goes back to the costumes.
You kind of make Ford's
sourdough
clothes, sourdough bread, lot of bread.
Write
a
floral
book out
dresses.
there.
I'm
You're in a dress.
I'm dyeing my clothes.
You
with
haven't worn a bra.
marigolds.
Never
Oh,
worn a
never
bra.
a bra. Never
Barely
a bra. to
any
be
underwear.
found.
And if you
Tits
do,
long. Still
boobs are hanging.
breastfeeding 4-year-olds. Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, Ford sometimes pops on.
That's
Every morning he tries. Because
How old is he again?
He's almost 3.
No, I remember my brother was trying to breastfeed when he was 2. My mom always says that, but I don't know if it's actually true.
Right. You remember?
I remember back in the day.
Not even alive.
No.
You're -8, but you remember your brother breastfeeding.
No, my mom always like roasts him now. She's like, you're so attached to your mom still, Nick.
Yeah, like
because you breastfed till you were 5.
Yeah. Ford
like,
wasn't.
You can't be 5.
Ford, what you fully can. Ford wasn't. He's not attached. He does it as like a joke, kind of. He'd be like, "I want chicha." Hey. He'll do that.
Right.
Hey, I'm hungry. I'm gonna have this one, and he makes this fake baby voice, and his voice is already little, so he's like, "Hey, yeah." I'm like, "Yo."
Yeah.
I've lately been like, "Stop." I don't have any more milk for you. This is all for Jetty Mans. I'm starting to wean him. I don't have a ton to go around, but I want the other Chiche. I want the other one. Like I have pictures. I have to show you pictures of both of them on the boob. Anyway, it's special, and I'm glad, and I'm totally like zero shame, dude. If you want to breastfeed for a while, I will let you. I'm very hippie in that regard.
Yeah.
However,
I wonder what I'm gonna
I
be
also
like.
just don't have a ton of milk left, so like it's not working out. But all that said, I'm a little bit afraid of school.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit afraid of the trauma that comes with it. And I am very hopeful that I will figure it out, but I'm running out of time because he turns 3 this fall. I mean, in a month. So this fall will be the first school session that he would be joining pre-K 3 if I were to put him in to the school system. That is a great school system, but like I'm just the things that happen in schools and like
He'll be sick a lot too, and so will you.
Oh, like I'm just
My sister
so
and her husband
scared.
are sick every week.
Right.
Like there's just so many germs in
Right.
like on a child's hands.
Yeah.
Those
And if
small,
you look
soft
up the
hands.
facts, do you know that it only takes 30 minutes a day to deliver the preschool curriculum?
Really? I
30
thought you were going to
minutes.
say it only takes 30 seconds a day to bully someone.
That too.
And that has to be its own statistic.
It's one moment. One moment will change him. Will change the wiring, the firing of the neurons in his
I
brain.
know, but if you
But
were-
it could be
if he
changed on a
comes-
playground too. So like
it could. And if you keep an eye on it and he comes home and he says he was bullied, you could do what my mom did. When Billy was bullied, my mom came to the school, went into the locker room and pushed the kid against the locker and said, if you ever bully my kid again, I will make sure you do not see another day. She went into the Franklin Middle School locker room and pushed the child up against the locker. And then left. This is like prior to having a shit ton of security in schools. My mom was like, yeah, I'm just coming in. I got to pick up something for my kid. Came in, grabbed the kid, shoved him on the locker and was like, if you ever touch
your
him
mom
again.
is so real for that.
So you
love
could
that. Do that.
do that.
I would.
If a kid were to
In
get bullied
fact,
in your life.
I have been known to do that in the past. I did it with my brother. I didn't go into a locker room, but my brother got into the car with me as I had picked him up from school, and I'm 17, he's -5, 12. And he gets in my car, and some kid from like down the street called him the F word. That's a derogatory term for homosexuals.
Oh,
That
no.
word. And he is not homosexual, but that doesn't matter. They were just being like cruel. And like back in the day, people said that kind of shit, I guess. But I saw actual red, and he got in the car. I skirted that car around so quick, so loud, so fast, and I screamed out the car door, if you want to call my brother, and I lost my shit. Mikey's like, H, stop, stop. But he remembers it to this day as this
you
moment.
stood
I
up for his
blacked
ass.
out. It wasn't even standing up. I blacked out.
Well,
So like, that's the thing. I don't have the strength to do this in any other way besides losing my shit. And
Yeah,
I'm just like, I
yeah.
feel safer by just like keeping him. And so then, but the other problem with this is like, it's not just him. It's the whole institution of school that I'd be walking away from. And I feel like it's so black and white and so intense. Like I feel like if I don't decide now, I maybe have one more year. I have to figure it out by kindergarten, because if by kindergarten he's not going to school, then if he ever goes, if I ever at like 4th grade decide put him in, now he's the homeschooled kid that joins in the late in
I don't know.
4th
Some
grade.
of my coolest people that I know from my high school were the homeschooled kids.
No way, they were homeschooled. You had homeschool kids?
Yeah.
Really?
You want to know who it is?
Who? Clay?
No.
Nicole?
Donna Missile and Kelly Missile. The Missile family. Those really, really
but they were
talented
talented,
girls.
but they're cool. Yes.
They were talented
That's
and
who-
musical. And
That's
then
who
her parents put her
I
in
think
like 8th
of.
grade.
That's who I think of when I think of homeschooled kids. Like I think of like people who just have this extra hustle, talent,
The
experience,
Missiles,
life.
they all were homeschooled because they were all actors. And
Yes.
they were in the acting
Yes.
system, and they just couldn't focus on school. They had to focus on acting. And now they're all actors, honestly.
Okay, so can anyone? And by the way, can I just say thank you to all of our followers who? How many messages did you get about people being like, please don't get rid of the podcast?
Oh my God, everyone.
And then also, but like, if you had to, we would understand. Like, just the kindest souls. Like, we're not going
had to
anywhere.
get rid of it.
We were just
would
fishing.
understand. I'm like, we're not going anywhere.
We're not going anywhere. LOL. So thank you. But also to that end, if you have any thoughts on homeschooling or like positive, negative, please share, because I am trying to lay on this plane and figure out what I'm going to do. And I just feel like I have to make this giant decision. And I also have to make the decision for like the social implications for me and Bill. Like if we bring our kids kids in at the 11th hour, then all these families became friends and all these moms. And I mean, not that I'm seeking new friendships by any means, but like, you know, it's a part of the whole thing. It's an 18-year institution that we're either deciding to be a part of or not. And it's crazy.
I never even think about that stuff because I'm so far from a child. But you have to think about it.
Like now. And everyone likes to ask me. And then I'm already the crazy crunchy mom. So like
you're
I have to be like
Crunchwrap Supreme.
I'm a Crunchwrap Supreme. And it's giving Mexican as well.
Mexicans are crunchy?
No, but Crunchwrap Supreme is Mexican.
Chips. Oh. So true.
It's a Taco Bell reference. Okay, here we go. Let's keep going. Okay, we don't have much time. I think I might need to push my 4 o'clock is what I'm going to have to do at this current moment. So let me do that. And you can get us started on the crazy words in our upcoming collection.
Oh, yeah.
They're kind of hot takes.
We have a hot take collection coming out in celebration of Women's History Month. We're excited about this because these words are something that, like, for us, being the girlies that we are, I think Adriana and I, like, we tend to be a hot take type girly.
Yeah.
So, like, this is a collection that perfectly is inspired by, like, the truth of who we are. And we, like, want to, like, take back the terms and, like, stick it to the man with this collection is how I see it.
That's exactly what it was. So the words are crazy, dramatic, too much, and bitch with an exclamation point as the I.
So cute and funny.
Which has definitely caused a little bit of like a stir in that, you know, we've had to make sure that our store teams were on board with this. And some people were a little bit like, ooh, I don't know how I'm going to sell this word and reframe it as this positive thing. And I think it's been a good exercise for me to be like, okay, well, how do I really want to double down on this? Do I really want to keep pushing it forward despite that potential feedback being maybe it's not, you know, the easiest to digest? But for me, I think that's why I like it, because it's not easy to digest when we're called a bitch either. And how many times have you been called a bitch just for being true to who you are, just for standing up for yourself, standing up for someone else, and someone says you're a bitch. Am I a bitch, or am I not going to let you talk shit to this person and I'm going to stand in your face? Am I a bitch to these 12-year-olds, or am I going to not let you
bully my kid,
bully my brother?
Yeah.
You know, like I think, how do you define it? And I mean, I don't know about you, but, and I love the men in my life besides not my husband, but like my husband knows that word is off limits in our house.
Bitch,
like, don't ever call me a bitch, because what you're responding to is my intensity and it's my standing my ground. That doesn't make me a bitch. That makes me an equal player, right? And every woman should feel empowered and entitled to be themselves, to stand their ground, to have a bad day, to be complicated, to show up as they are. And sometimes that's not necessarily as, like, you know, shitting rainbows. And that's okay.
And unfortunately, society names that a bitch.
Correct. God forbid you have a voice or disagree or speak loudly. You're a bitch. And I really wanted to take that word back. And I thought this was like one of the main central points of this collection.
I like that. I like that take on it.
Yeah.
On bitch. I speak more to, in the collection, like which one I feel like
speaks to you.
It speaks to me is crazy. Because I think as a previous single person, but as a person in the dating scene, you know, having this guy, this situationship, this thing I have to be nervous about when it comes to dating, it all comes back to the little tiny mosquito voice in your head as a single person. Am I being crazy?
Am I being crazy? Is this going to push someone away? But that's not a mosquito voice that showed up out of nowhere. It's because prior relationships, prior men in your life have made you feel crazy.
That's what I meant.
No, I think that's like almost, that's the part that we all forget. There's a reason that these words stand out to us and feel like hot takey words, is because, ooh, that stings when you hear it. It stings to be called crazy. It stings to be called dramatic. Ooh. The amount that and I love my father and my brother, but the amount that they have made me feel like my emotions were not valid growing up because I was just being a dramatic girl. And again, it's
very
not
Italian of them, I will say.
It's a little
Italian
old school
men.
of my father, right?
Yeah.
I mean, your dad does it too, right?
Hell yeah.
But at the end of
my dad calls me emotional a lot.
Oh, yeah,
I'm like,
emotional.
you're trying to weaponize emotional, Dad. We all need to go to therapy. I love being emotional, but thank you. Like, it's very old school traditional to be like, you're very dramatic,
You're
ladies.
dramatic and emotional, and I don't want to hear. Come back to me when you're not being so emotional.
So soft.
And it sends me every time. So I'm
sends me,
like,
sends
am
me,
I
sends me.
emotional or am I just in tune with
Smart.
my
In
emotions? Am I
touch.
just in touch with my gut? And that's okay. It's okay to sometimes be a little overly emotional. It's okay to sometimes be a little dramatic, which frankly, drama built this house.
Oh, yeah. Drama's
We are sitting in drama. This is a dramatic couch.
duo. This couch holds drama on our butt cheeks.
No, we are
Caresses our
supported
cheeks.
by drama. And at the end of the day, that's what makes the world go round, is things that are in touch with like
Things that make you
the
light up.
sensitivity of the feminine ether. Like this bracelet is dramatic. Like, what do you mean? You mean this little friendship bracelet is going to like help me through difficulty? Yes. Yeah, it is. And I don't care if that's dramatic because it's what happens, and that's
Right.
okay. I actually recently listened to an episode of Pretty Smart with Daniel Rebay,
Oh, love it.
who, please, if you do not listen to this podcast, like, we might be your like little dose of silly. Let her be your dose of inspiration. She has some of the most incredible women of our time
Yeah.
interviewed on that show, and her voice and the drama, if you will,
Yeah,
of how she
she's so
delivers the
perfect.
questions, and like it's just so well done. Anyway, she recently had on Jada Pinkett Smith, and that woman has had definitely like a life cycle, right? But what she shares is about how complicated we are as women, and people don't want to see that. We don't want to see the tapestry of women. We just want to see simple, clean cut, easy to understand, the way we understand men. Men are just boys will be boys. That's who they are. God forbid a woman have a moment. God forbid a woman do something that's out of touch with what society wants from them. They're too much. They're bitches. They're crazy, and they're dramatic. We need to, as a society, accept women for all that they are. And we as women ourselves need to accept ourselves for all that we are. So yes, I'm crazy enough to start a business. And I'm dramatic enough to believe in it, craft this whole story around what happens when you put power in your word. And she cries at it. Someone gifting her a bracelet is mad, so dramatic, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm a bitch, I guess, to people who make me feel like I'm not important enough to dignify me with the treatment that they would a man. I.e., I've had, I had a former male employee tell me that he thought I was going to be nicer. And I said,
As he got to know you more, yeah.
interesting. No, just because not that you got to know me more, but like, I one day had to deliver a pretty intense like message to the team being like, guys, I know that this seems like it's fun maybe from the outside looking in, but at the end of the day, this is a hard place to work. It's a 24/7 job. It is, unfortunately, just the stage we're at in the business. And I delivered it pretty intensely. I don't know if you remember that day. And this person, I guess ever since then, felt like he used the term, you scared me. I scared him. And I'm like, would you have said that to a male leader if they just delivered a difficult message? He didn't say I was a bitch, but he sure as shit didn't say I wasn't. He said, I thought you were going to be nicer. And that's interesting because as someone who runs this business all about kindness, I don't think anybody out there, with the exception of maybe there's a few people who across my life I've unintentionally made to feel some way that, again, intention versus impact, and I'm learning that every day, but any single one of you listening, I know that if you've reached out to me, we've had like an honest, genuine, real, kind conversation. I don't think any of you would say I'm not nice. But that's not always how things happen in business. It's not always how things work when you're having to do something hard and you're pushing a boulder up a hill. Imagine like you think I'm just gonna be like, oh, it's okay, we're figuring it out, it's all fine. And I do say that in many ways, but I'm also like, let's go, come on, put your weight into it. Like it's intense. So when you're called something based on one part of you that happens to be intense or extreme, and you're not, and the whole picture isn't factored in,
Right.
then you're just
judging someone off of moments.
exactly,
And
you're
not judging them off of who they are.
their whole being. And
Yeah.
we are all complicated whole beings, especially as women. And it blows my mind. There was another situation that I had with a contractor for one of our stores, who I honestly blacked most of it out, but it led to one of my little like emotional tiffs, if you will, with Bill, because he was on the call and this guy spoke to me like I was scum of the earth.
Ooh.
And once Bill got on the call, his tune changed. And this other employee I'm just mentioning, when Bill was in the room, he turned to him and said, "You're one of the best leaders I've ever had."
Ooh.
Right in front of my face. When he went and told Bill to come join the conversation, he said, "I'm going to talk to your wife now if you want to join." I went from being the CEO to Bill's wife. And with that guy on the call, honestly, guys, I can't even remember. All I know is what I felt was so less than. I felt so belittled. And it was because I was just this little girly with her little pink jewelry store that he didn't have the time or energy for.
Right.
And he talked to us like shit. And then after I said to Bill, I was like, you know what? In those moments, I'd rather you be my husband than my COO and say, we're just, goodbye, good riddance. So we got us into a little bit of a thing and we came through it. And I now realize, okay, it's actually, we have to maintain a face. We have to build this business and we have to do it sometimes with working with people that we don't want to work with. And that is just the reality. And so we moved past that. But it's all that to say, it's been a really interesting journey.
Yeah.
Being a woman in business, being a female founder, being a woman of color, navigating all of these terms, right? Dramatic.
Yep.
Emotional, too much. That's something that Latinas hear all the time. Everything's a telenovela. People like to throw that at us, right? We're all so dramatic and drama filled.
Yeah.
So it's been hard, and that's why I really wanted this collection to exist, because it's meant to take back that power and own the fact that only we can write our narrative.
Right.
It's our narrative to write, and no one else can ascribe meaning to us that we are not willing to own. And so, sure, call me crazy, call me bitch, call me dramatic, call me whatever you want. Know that if I'm owning the word and if I'm owning that part of me, then you can't hurt me with it.
That was... Look, here's the thing about a telenovela. You are going to be on one. And that was fire.
No. I'm not going to be on a telenovela, but
everything
my
you
life
said,
is a telenovela.
Yeah. No, but everything you just said was like really inspiring. I hope people I hope people listen in on this, because I think so many women, and maybe we have male listeners too, who knows, all across genders. I hope everyone's listening to this.
Yeah.
But for the women listening to this, I do hope that you find a word in this collection that you've been called negatively, and maybe you buy it because you want to change it.
Because you want to own it.
You want to own it.
And honestly,
you want to change what it once meant.
What it
when
once
you heard
meant.
it.
Exactly.
And you want to own it differently. Like,
Exactly.
I really want to wear crazy, and I just want to be like, yeah, I'm crazy because I love hard.
Yeah.
And because I have emotions, and because I cry.
Yeah.
When I'm talking about something I care about.
Yeah.
Because I break down, because I ask you if you still like me. Whatever it is. I'm crazy. Call me crazy. Fine.
Same. I almost like the word that's the most triggering for me in this collection is bitch.
Yeah.
And I almost want to wear that to remind myself that, yeah, I am that bitch. And I can be the queen of the nice girls, and I can be genuinely a kind, nice soul, especially to those who are giving that same energy to me.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that I have to be walked all over.
Yeah.
And we as people and as women do not have to feel like in order to be nice and in order to be kind, we have to be this sweet little cherub of a human that just gets stomped on. We can put our foot down, and we can... Boys have never liked me because I've always challenged their opinion of what a nice girl should be.
Yep.
Women have always, I hope, felt empowered and supported and that I've been a kind person. I do feel like that is true. But men, please. I always said it takes a special kind of man to be with me, and Bill is that special kind of man.
Yeah.
But
think
even
I might be the same,
he would never call me a bitch, because he knows of all the things. He could call me every other word in the book, but that's the word that I'm like, don't take my power away from me by making me feel like being powerful means I am a bitch, and whatever that means to society.
Yep. Do you have a woman that you can think of that you think reclaims a word in this collection? Like almost somebody that inspires you.
I mean,
a woman who maybe society thinks is something.
Honestly, I was very inspired by this Jada Pinkett Smith conversation.
I was gonna say she's a hot take right now.
I know she's a hot take, and I know that she's had a narrative written for her, and she has taken it back, and she does things according to what is real for her. And I think that's all we can expect and ask of someone. And she shows up as she is meant to show up in her own world, and she doesn't give anybody what they think she should give. And I think that there's something special in that. And I like that she just shows up as she is and asks that you accept her for it. And I think that's a special thing. So I don't know. That was like a really good example. Very inspired by that conversation. I really encourage everyone to go listen to it. I think it is. Danielle called it a love I think it was a love story for complicated women, and an ode to complicated women. And I would argue that every woman is a complicated woman, because we're made up of so many different elements and so many different versions of the truth, if you will. And it all creates one truth, and that's who we are. And it's different in every iteration. Just like you're talking about feeling like you're grumpy. You're not grumpy. You can be grumpy.
Yeah, but I'm complicated. But
you're
I'm figuring it out, and I'm doing my best.
Yeah, and you're aware.
All those things, and I'm aware.
And you're in tune. And it's so much more than can be said, sorry boys, about some of our male counterparts. Yeah. They're not aware, and not all of them, right? I mean, again, it's why I love the man I'm with. I feel like he's aware of it, and he's very mindful, and he's always trying to get better.
Yeah.
And we should all just be on a constant journey towards betterment and acceptance of who we are, and it all starts there. Who are we? Do we accept who we are? And how do we develop it and hone those skills that make us the complicated people that we've come to be in our lives? What about you?
It's fire, Addie.
Thank you. She's really complicated. Why you have to go and make things so complicated? I see the way you're acting like you're somebody else gets me frustrated.
I was trying to do harmonies,
Life's
but
like this, and you roll and you crawl and you rake and you take what you get and you turn it into. Honestly, I'm positive, never gonna find me faking. No, no, no. Nice.
Shout out Avril.
Shout out to Avril.
My friend,
another one
Ryan,
who was always herself.
My friend Ryan, Royal and the Serpent.
Yeah.
Going on tour with her.
Okay.
How crazy is that?
What is actually crazy? First of all, I love Royal and the Serpent.
How many people from Franklin?
It's fucked up.
Cool.
Someone help it make it make sense. What is up with Franklin?
I don't know.
What is up with Franklin?
It's just like an artsy, really like liberal town where you just like follow your dreams. We really invest in the arts, and a lot of people come out on the other side being like super artsy and like really cool.
I almost want to move there.
Don't tell me twice. That's why I care about the public school system, because of where I was raised.
You had a very different story.
Yeah.
And your dad was like the
My dad is the
leader of the public school system, right?
My dad, his name is William Education Grippo.
I know. And
so
listen.
And again, that's why people can be different.
Yeah.
That's why where you want.
Where you put your kids and where you raise them is a big deal. Yeah. And I chose Chatham because it was a great school district before I knew that I was going to feel this way. And then I had the kids, and now I'm like,
you're on the fence. But
it's not that I'm on the fence. I have a lot of trauma to unpack, and I literally have to book an appointment with Heather because it's just never going to be it. Okay, so before we wrap up, from your perspective, how can women show up as themselves in a world where these words are so often used to label us in a negative way? And how do you still show up as you from your perspective, as someone who has been labeled as crazy and dramatic and all of the things, too much?
Yeah.
I mean, you get a lot. Like, a lot is the word people just use to describe you.
Or like
all
extra.
the time. Extra.
People call me extra all the time.
And that's because why? You have a personality.
Right.
So
how do you show up? I think.
How do you, Mariah, show up?
Oh, how do I?
And let people be inspired by that, maybe.
Okay. Well, I'm different because I think I'm like an extremist generally. So if I know that somebody already thinks I'm extra, like now I'm gonna double down.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna double down. And you want to see extra?
Yeah.
You're going to get extra. And then you're going to realize that what I was doing before wasn't even extra because now I'm officially extra. Thank you. And you're welcome. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think just like being your most authentic self and then just like doubling down on that to like, again, like stick it to the man. I just want to like be Mariah every day, and whatever you think about her that's your fucking problem.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I don't know if that's even like inspirational to like do that in your world, but I don't want to like cut corners
Right.
and like eliminate little elements of myself because they're
No.
kind of extra or because they're kind of dramatic. I kind of want to just like cry more and just be like, yeah, no, this is really fucking sad, isn't it? And like, just like, I just want to do it more.
So just being more of the things that people want to weaponize against you, because at
Yeah.
the end of the day, it's just going further because it's showing that you don't care.
Yeah.
You can say what you're going to say about me. Now, deep down, you do care. Deep down, you unpack it in therapy and you navigate it and you figure it out and you wear words that say the thing because you know it's a piece of you, but you honor it anyway and you are anyway. Yeah, I think that's a good answer. I feel like I would definitely, I think it's, like you said, continuing to show up as who you are, celebrating every time someone says something negative about you. It's how do you counteract it with the positive? How do you take that word and make it positive, right? So like we did just before. Yeah, sure, I can be crazy, but I was also crazy enough to start this business.
Yeah.
And that was a superpower. So how do you look at all the elements of you that people have claimed to be bad and say, sure, yes, and it made me who I am, and it built the world I have built around me. And I think, like, again, it's just honoring all the parts of us and showing up as we are.
Yeah.
It's all we can do in this life.
Yeah. So now I need the crazy
This
bracelet.
life of sin.
I haven't even seen the crazy bracelet, but now I want it.
Oh my God, it's
How
so
does
good.
it look? Is it really cute?
Very cute.
I'm
They're,
really
they're
excited.
some of the best. And this was such like it was an after the fact thought that I had one day that I was like, you know what we should do for our Women's History Month collection? And
Hold
we
on.
should
It wasn't that after the thought, though, because we talked about this months ago. It wasn't after the thought of Women's History Month.
Nah. No, it was
was?
months ago. It was
months
months
ago.
ago. But
Yeah,
like in our product calendar of development, we should be talking about 2025 Women's History Month
Yeah,
right
yeah,
now,
true,
right?
true,
It was not a year out.
No,
it was
it wasn't,
like
it wasn't.
4 months ago,
Yeah.
5 months ago. So
Yeah.
it was late in the game, and we were
Yeah.
thinking of how are we going to show up for Women's History Month. We had a couple of other ideas that
Mm-hmm.
was more content focused. And I was like, guys, let's just have a freaking collection of words that
Yeah.
reclaim the power of the negative
Yep.
that has been thrown at us because we are women
Yep.
since we've been kids.
Yep.
And so enter this collection. We're
What's it
very
called?
excited about it. It's called,
The Women's History Month collection?
I think so.
Okay,
We're
all right,
not
cool.
very creative here with the titles of
that
collections,
was
but creative with the designs, and that's
Yeah.
what matters. They're
Yep.
very cute. Again, bitch has an exclamation point as the I, which is just like, yeah, and
Yeah. I like it.
same.
Yeah.
Okay. My nose has been itching.
Yeah,
this
she's been
entire-
itching the whole time, so we're
if-
going to have to edit some of those out. But
Why is it so itchy? Anyway,
anyway, this was fun.
this was fun.
So reclaim your words.
Reclaim your power.
Reclaim that thing.
Be yourself, whatever that is. Don't be grumpy with your new relationships.
Yeah.
But if you are,
sort that out.
it's okay.
Yeah.
Because you're growing, you're evolving, and every piece of you is beautiful
Thank you. And complicated.
and complicated.
Thanks, Addie.
Love you.
Bye, guys.
Thanks for tuning in.
Make sure to subscribe and follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Glow Through It Podcast.
And while you're at it, give Little Words Project a follow too. See you next time.